Talk a little bit about like, I don't know, when you got into football and you started to do that, was it awkward? How'd you learn how to get comfortable in that non-Christian environment like that?
Welcome back to the 61% podcast. I am Jorde.
I'm Mario.
And today we have the honor of sitting with our good friend Will Martin.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Will, I'm sure a lot of people are tuning in because they know you. But there's going to be a handful of people that know us that don't know you. So tell us a little bit about who you are.
My name is Will Martin. Currently college student, going into my third year. So I feel like I kind of know what's going to happen this year. I go to school at MSUM. Community Alliance is my home church where I grew up. I've been going here since I think I was 2, not by choice, but just because that's just where I got dragged. So yeah, and then a couple years ago, moved out to Moorhead, where I go to school now and play football there, and also attend church there. So
That's awesome, man.
it's always a treat to come back to the home church. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I happen to know you had a week off in between football season and summer jobs and all that stuff. Like, let's try to get Will in.
Yeah, no, I feel kind of restless already. It's my second day off. I feel like I'm supposed to be doing something. And
How long do you get off? Is it
just this week, yeah. So I'll head back probably Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, sometime Sunday.
And football kicks off
Monday morning.
Wow.
Yep, and then go through November, so.
That's tough.
But no, it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So so 2 questions follow up on that. What are you studying? And then what position are you on the football team?
Okay. School-wise, I'm studying construction management. Yeah, it's been great so far. I really enjoy it. I'm actually graduating this coming spring with my undergrad, so I'm towards the tail end of that. But I'll be really enjoying that. It was either that or engineering, and I'm glad it's this because I'm not nerdy enough to be an engineer. But and then football-wise, I play D-line. So yes, sir.
So one of the questions that we ask everybody that comes on is we ask, how has God been speaking to you? Or maybe a different way to ask that question is like, how do you know that it is God speaking to you? And the reason we ask that question is because I know so many people that say, well, God just isn't speaking to me anymore. Or I just never hear him. And the reality is that God speaks to us in different ways because he does have a unique relationship to each of us. So yeah, just curious what your thoughts are on that. As you know, what do you, if you sense something, what makes you think this might be God speaking to you?
I've always noticed, for me at least, I think I've heard it once when I was a kid, and then I don't know if I honed in on it or if it just was actually how God spoke to me, but it just a lot of times through sounds generic, but just sermons and music. Like I'm a really big fan of early 2000s worship music. I think it's just the best. Like that's all I listen to. I not that I don't like it or can't stand it, but I always go back to that. So yeah, riding in the back seat, just goldfish guys and stuff, but no. So I don't know. I just connect a lot with that. I don't know if it's like the tone or the speed or whatever, but then also for the service wise, whether it's like I listen to a service on a podcast on the way to work or Sunday mornings, I feel like that I don't know how it happens. God works in amazing ways, but it's whatever I'm dealing with that week or whatever is kind of pushing me or whatever. I feel like I just have a way of connecting to it. And it feels like almost kind of eerie, like wow, that is almost too close. Like that's like a little too scary, but it's not. But so that's encouraging for me. It's like, God's hearing or God's seeing what I'm struggling with, even though maybe I didn't talk to him about it. And he's giving me, it's the pastor doesn't know he's helping me, but he makes eye contact with you, but he might not be looking at you, but the person behind you, maybe it's like,
Yeah. Is this true? Is it me? Is it
to the side a little bit? But no. So I'd say that for sermons, pulling stuff out of there that I feel like it corresponds to what I've been dealing with the week, and then also just the same songs I was listening to.
Yeah,
That's cool, man. Yeah, the early 2000 worship music, they had it.
Yeah.
They had it really down.
They did. They did. I was a couple years old. But
What is your favorite worship band currently? Because I know it changes.
Casting Crowns is really good. Or Matt Maher.
Matt Maher is good.
That's how you say the name. But I mean, those are all both ones that my dad listened to a lot when I was a kid. As a kid, I got sick of them. I was like, Dad, it's the same 15 songs. But then now I'm like excited to listen to the same 15.
Now you're just, you got those same 15 songs cycling through. I'm sure your dad is proud.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And if Matt Maher or Casting Crowns are listening, we do like your new stuff too. No, you're still writing music. There's good stuff out there.
But the early 2000 stuff.
Yeah, you nailed it. Yeah.
Well, it's good.
Yeah.
Really good.
That's awesome,
sweet.
man. That's awesome. Yeah. It's just always interesting, hearing how, not that God speaks he speaks in so many different ways through a lot of different means, but it's just always interesting to hear, I think Elijah mentioned about like how God spoke to him about going to Crown through a dream and like laid out the whole facility of Crown, and he had never been to Crown. And he just witnessed it in a dream and saw it, and he knew God was telling him to go to Crown College and whatever. But yeah, it's just always interesting to hear.
Yeah, and then like those big moments of like that dream, and then those small moments of just like hearing a song on the radio by yourself in the car is like, but each of those moments feel just as big.
Mm-hmm.
When it hits you in that moment, it's like,
it kind of it rocks you kind of. It's like insignificant. You're going to work, but it's like wow.
Yeah. It's like everything stops around you for a second,
For sure.
It's,
Yeah.
Cool. So one of the reasons we thought to have you on is, as we talk on this podcast about engaging your faith and people that are busy and sometimes they want to be in church, but they can't be in church because of their schedules or, whatever, Sunday morning just doesn't quite work for them. As you said, like come Monday morning, you're locked in until November.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but also at the same time, I know that you are engaged in your faith. Mm-hmm. Conversations that we've had, like your faith has not dwindled, but it has grown since you left. Since you left our church, moved over to Fargo, Moorhead. And so I guess I just want to talk about like how have you maintained faith in the busyness of that season specifically, but then college itself and summer internships, like it's all busy.
Yeah. I'd say the biggest thing is just, it sounds so generic, so boring, but just routine. Like, for example, this last summer, I had like a 40-minute commute one way for work. So I absolutely came to love my drive to work, where I could either throw on a sermon or just listen to, like, have the Bible app read me the Bible, or just sit there and pray. Because me and a couple of teammates went to a Christian conference this last spring, and I really our eyes were open to prayer. We did daily prayer and like prayer in groups, and it was extremely awkward and really painful for a little bit. But then you're like, wow, like prayer is, not just like a blessing our food or whatever. It's actually talking to God. So that's been really big for me. And there's I don't do it in a certain fancy way. I just kind of talk to Him about, thank you for whatever this. Thank you for these people in my life. Thank you for this opportunity I have to go to work. Just things like that. But then, you go on your tangents and you go off and, I've been talking for 15 minutes to myself. But you're actually, praying. Or I try to mix it up, listen to sermons or podcasts. But I've been trying not to get in the habit of listening to one person too much, because everyone has their own style and their views on things. But so I've been kind of rounding it off, and then I've also learned how important it is to just like be in the Word yourself, and so that's where I've been getting just listen to the Bible, and so I can listen to it and interpret it in my own way, and and not just take someone's word for something.
Yeah, that's good. I know you said it was boring, but I don't think it's boring.
Mm-hmm.
Routine, consistency. Yeah. I think we think routine is boring because it's like the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, I personally think that is how we grow in maintaining our faith, literally. like a consistent dependence on God, just puts it in His hands to maintain it. You know what I mean? So it's like you're doing the work of coming to Him, and He's doing the work of maintaining your faith in all of the busyness and all of the stuff going on.
I read a book called, I think it was called Power Through Prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong, but it was by E.M. Bounds. And
Ooh.
the thing that stood out to me in that book was he said, and now as I say this, I'm realizing our senior pastor is going to tell me it's a Dallas Willard quote that E.M. Bounds stole.
We'll correct it. We'll find
but
it.
I know E.M. Bounds said this, but he might have gotten it from Dallas Willard. Matt, I know. Anyway. But he said spiritual growth is not instantaneous or haphazard, meaning it doesn't happen overnight, and it doesn't happen out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you said routine, I immediately went to that quote, like, there is work that has to be put into it.
Yeah.
It's a commitment to growing spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's prayer, or if that's worship, or if that's reading the word, or whatever that might be, there is intention that has to go into it. So I that was very well said. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah. So like you're with football and things like that, that would be predominantly non-Christian environment for you, right?
Typically, yeah.
Typically?
Yeah.
So, that's very interesting because a lot of, maybe a lot of kids or a lot of people, they go into environments, non-Christian environment. They go to work. They go to, maybe there are other athletes that are on a team. It's like predominantly non-Christian. And so like, what's it like for you to go into that space and not just maintain your faith, but be like engaged to the point, talking about Jesus or mentioning spiritual things, or if someone asks you how you're doing, or just talk a little bit about like, I don't know, when you got into football and you started to do that, was it awkward? How'd you learn how to get comfortable in that non-Christian environment like that as a Christian?
I don't know. It's one thing. There's many things, but I'd say that a lot of the teammates are very respectful. So even though some of them aren't believers, they understand. Oh, they're believers. I really haven't faced a whole lot of upfront criticism for that. But also, a lot of it's contributed to our team. Like we have a lot of coaches who are very strong in their faith. So I'm very fortunate for the MSUM football team that we have I think of 2 coaches that put on Bible studies weekly. So we do like a team Bible study. It'd be like, we do our student-led one on Monday nights, and then we do like a student or a coach-led one, I think, on Thursday mornings. So, there's always opportunity there, which is super encouraging because then you're out there on the field with them, yelling and stuff like that, and then having, playing the game. And then that morning they were, we were diving into Peter or something like that. So that just in the sense of like a role model, knowing that the people who are leading you are also have, a faith base to them, and they're human, they're like all of us, but that's been really encouraging too, and I think that's helped a lot of us teammates grow together, and also with coaches too. I feel like we have a lot stronger bond than a lot of teams would, and that's through faith. And even the guys who teammates are close enough to the point where if someone doesn't have a faith, or they know they don't, go to church and something like that, they feel comfortable enough where they can come to our Bible studies and just hang out, talk with the teammates, and also be around that positive environment. So
that's really
which has been I'm so thankful for that, because I haven't been in any other colleges, but from what I've heard, it's extremely unique.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
That's so cool.
It's got to make, like, having those Bible studies and having that interaction outside of football has got to make, like, receiving the coaching easier too. Like, coach has my back. Coach has my interest in mind. There's got to be a piece of that I don't know. Like, I don't know what in that, but I feel like that's so important for. Like, I know there's coaches that listen to this, and I know there's athletes that are listening to this. It's just so important to catch the fact that, like, and we'll talk about this in a little bit too, but like, who we are is so much more than what we do. And who we are is so much more than like success or not on the football field. And yeah, like helping as a coach, I think it's so important that you help people realize that like your value is more than
your performance.
Right.
It's more than your performance. Obviously, you know, they want you to do well and to grow and to win, obviously. I mean, you're on the team to win.
At the end of the day, they want us to be able to walk out of the program, whether it's when we graduate or whatever, and just be like men equipped for life, men equipped to be fathers, husbands, or be good employers or employees. So that's some of the staple that they've kind of driven in us to, is that we want you to be able to leave here, you're an alumni, whatever, but you're ready to do the best in the world.
So I mean, it seems like you walked into a pretty cool environment at MSUM.
I feel like it's grown substantially more over the last year.
Sure.
So yeah.
Cool. Okay, so that makes this next question even more meaningful, maybe, where that first year you didn't necessarily know that's what it was going to be, but still going your first year, you knew like I want to get connected to a Bible study. I want to get connected to a church. I want to find believers that I can, you know, do life with, that I can walk alongside as I'm doing this. And so, you know, we are both parents. We have young kids, so we're not thinking about college yet.
No,
necessarily.
Not my 3-year-old.
Yeah. But for parents that are thinking, you know, like, well, I don't want my kid to walk away from their faith when they go to college. You know, when you think about the first 18 years of your life, you know, you talk about being 2 years old and not having a choice, coming to church. But like at some point, it shifted from not having a choice to now having a choice. And so what from those first 18 years do you think led to you when you had the choice wanting to continue that faith?
Well, for the first 18 years of my life, the only thing pulling me to church was donuts. And now this church that I go to in Moorhead doesn't have donuts, and I still go. So there's something outside of the donut.
They used to have donuts. The church in Moorhead.
Ignite?
When I was going, they did.
On Sunday service?
Yeah.
They every Sunday? We have them for like some of our classroom smaller activities, but they just have coffee, which is, I mean, maybe that's what it is now.
But donuts and coffee is even better.
That's unbeatable.
Interesting.
So, but no, I don't know. I gotta give credit to my parents. They really, I think they did the best job of setting me up for success as best as they could. Church was never like an option. Like, oh, we're out of town, we can't go. We're gonna find a church to go to or something like that. Or Wednesday nights, you know, it was just such a routine that anything outside of that routine just felt weird, which was good for as a kid and as a teenager, but then just in college is when I realized, like, okay, hey, there's more than a routine to it. It's okay, this is what I want to do. So, I mean, like I was younger, you don't really have a huge desire to go to church. You know, you just sit there, you listen, you get through it, and then you go do whatever. But now it's like, oh, you know what? This is going to be good for me. Like I don't know why, but I cannot sing whatsoever, but I love worship. Like just any worship in any church, I just really enjoy it. It's just comforting. I just love praising. So,
that's awesome.
even though I can't sing.
Hey, the Lord doesn't care.
It's true.
No,
Exactly. Your worship
That's the good part. Yeah.
It's like he's not. That's one. He's not looking at the performance of that.
Yeah.
It's like I do have a question. It's a little bit more of a vulnerable question, but I'm curious because you know, like for me, I didn't grow up going to church, so when the Lord captured my heart, it was very almost. It's like something I've never seen before or like witnessed before. And I'm curious of like what, you know, as someone who was going to church and you were kind of trying to get through it, you know, your parents are bringing you, the donuts are bringing you, whatever is bringing you. Was there something that caused the shift, like in your life, like a struggle or something that like made you take it seriously or made you consider it like, I don't want to just do this because my parents want me to do this, but like I want Jesus, you know.
I mean, there's probably some smaller things first year that would have influenced me or just kind of set it apart for me. But I mean, first year we tried a couple different churches, and they were all great. But then a family member suggested Ignite, which is just happened to be close to my house actually. And then ever since then, I've been my fiance and I have been going there and just thoroughly enjoying it, the sermons. But I'd say a big thing, and I've talked to Jorde about this, was last fall. I think I probably hit one of the lowest times of my life was last fall. It was I don't want to get too deep into it, but I think it was so the first game of the year. I rolled my ankle really bad, and I was in a boot for the rest of the season. I still played and everything, but I was just kind of fighting an ankle the whole season, and so I'm injured. I'm in a boot, limping around, and then there was a bunch of political things going on in the world too. I think there was a couple school shootings like all within a week, and then there were some political events going on, and and then also I had a friend of mine who had like a life-changing moment happen. I don't know if it's the better or the worse, but so all that just kind of hit me like all within the course of a week, and I was just like at the point where it was just too much. I couldn't take it anymore, and so I just kind of crumbled honestly, and I was like just crying out to my family and Jorde. I'm like, I am just lost right now. Like I cannot do a thing. Like I'm just like, oh gosh, Jorde knows it was rough. It was, yeah. But a big thing for me was that I had to look through the lens of my faith. So I'd say that's like going to college obviously became my own, and I worked on my faith a lot then, more than I ever had in my life. But that was the time in my life where I'm like, oh my goodness, like this is gonna keep me alive. So like I spent every second I have my day I had just in the Word, and everything, just praying, worshiping, and that got me through. And then people like Jorde and my parents give me direction, and it all ultimately they all pushed me back to my faith and God. And he said that he'll get you right, he'll fix you up. So and he did. So it was tough. But no, that was the real moment. And ever since then, it's been like, wow, like I mean, this was my lowest moment, and he didn't leave me, and he helped me through it. And so, what else could you ask for? And by no means was it an answer like I went to bed one night and woke up and I felt fixed, or my problems went away. It was slow, and he was persistent. Like he'd show himself in amazing ways. Whether it's you're reading a verse somewhere and it's like, wow, like that really just coincides with what I need to hear, or just provision, like waking you up and just becoming thankful for the opportunity you have to play sports and have friends and get an education. So
Yeah, it's good that you did the caveat of like, it wasn't a quick, the Lord's answer wasn't one time. It was showing up consistently in this deep pit, man. It's like no one else is able to like pull me out of this thing, and he's here and he's pulling me out. So thanks for sharing that. It's very vulnerable.
Yeah. And if I can add on to the tail end of that also, like I mean, I definitely remember that first phone call, and we sat down a couple of times too. And it I mean, I could tell that it was, you were wrestling with some stuff. I could see that, and I could hear that on the phone. But what I wanted to point out from that is like, if nothing else, that is such a point in favor of being connected to a local church.
Yeah.
Because outside of the local church, we would not know each other. Yeah. And like, there's not anything special about me that stepped into that. It wasn't anything special about me that helped you in that situation, but there was a connection to someone, right? And there's a connection to someone that cared, and there's a connection to someone that, like, I didn't even understand things in the same way that you did. And we talked about that. Like, we are processing these things in different ways, but we shared the biblical worldview, right? Like, we were trying to filter it all through Scripture still, and having people that will filter things through Scripture with you, and filter things through their faith and your faith, and understanding like that common bond or that unifying.
Yes. Yep. yeah, I feel like I could have approached anyone on the team and asked their opinion about whatever I was dealing with, but was I gonna value that, or was it gonna come from the same place? And that answer wouldn't always be the same. So
Mhm.
Yeah, so just plug for the local church of
for sure.
like get connected and
Seriously.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Because
So-
even like watching online, there's nothing wrong with watching online,
mhm.
but there's no relationship built.
Yeah, a lot of the good relationships that I found that I've learned by watching from growing up, and also just in my new church, growing up myself, some of the best connections you make is walking out of the church, just like because you just so happen to step out of the aisle at the same time with someone, and then you start talking to them. So I met this one guy, his name is Greg. He's got a wife and a kid now, and we're not like super deep friends. We don't like get together weekly or nothing, but we see each other at church and we're excited to see each other, and it's encouraging.
Awesome, man.
Yeah.
Hey, that's it's just encouraging. Like someone walking out, you're making friends as you walk out. Sometimes people just bolt and they don't care. But was just hearing, just like, hey, there's value even when you're on your way out. Find someone else who's on the way out and make a friend.
Yeah.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
So when you kind of the flip of that conversation now, with the busyness of your fall, and I did a little bit of research, and I noticed, for example, there's a Saturday game in Minot, which is over 5 hours away from Fargo Moorhead. So that makes Sunday morning tough.
Yeah.
Not impossible, but difficult.
Yeah.
And so when there are Sundays that it just doesn't work, like how do you maintain faith, or how do you maintain engagement with your faith when a Sunday morning is just not possible?
Well, I thankfully, because of football, we always get back on a Saturday night, so the opportunity to go to church is always there. It's just a matter of if you can get up. Thankfully, I've always been able to get up, which is great and everything. And honestly, I feel like I just need it so much. I'm like, I can't pass this up. But I think a better example would be, so in the winters I plow snow in Fargo, and so whenever it's snowing, you're working. So I haven't missed it for football, but I have missed it for work. So and then I don't know, going back to routine, I feel like, oh, I'm working. Oh, it's Sunday morning. Let's throw a podcast on, or let's listen to some worship songs and then listen to a podcast and just imitate church. But maybe you don't get that interaction you do with other churchgoers, but just having that routine and rhythm, and some of my parents always did routine and rhythm was on Sundays we just listen to praise music, and that just became such a normal thing for me. So I guess I'm just a very routine based guy. That okay, maybe I'm not in church, but I'm gonna listen to church.
I like it because it's like your routine is not dependent on physically showing up at the church.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what there's a lot of people that probably listen to podcasts. I mean, the audience of the podcast is like, hey, they're maybe in a similar situation. Like, I work on Sundays, and what am I going to do? Like, they can hear you and hear like, oh, well, I've developed and maintained a routine of putting on a sermon or putting on something that is expounding on the scriptures, helping me understand it, reading or letting the Bible talk to me. You don't even need to really even just sit there and have a dedicated time with a pencil and a highlighter every single time. You can put it on and let it play. But I think it's just really encouraging that can happen at any time, whether you are 5 hours away, whether you're in a different country, whether you are wherever.
Yeah. And I think too, if your entire routine of faith is church on Sunday, and there's nothing else, and then when church on Sunday doesn't happen, or when church on Sunday can happen, then your whole faith routine is out the window for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, depending. Snow season, you never know. Like you could miss 6 straight weeks.
I could have a pretty bad winter.
Oh yeah,
For sure.
And so again, like that idea of routine is so helpful, because if your entire routine, or if like you're only being fed, but you are not feeding yourself,
Mhm.
you're not pursuing in any way other than attending church on Sunday morning, then when Sunday morning doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
And then you start to become disengaged.
Yeah, and I think something that's worth mentioning is that, um, like the idea of routine and faith it's so. I mean, this is the picture I've been painting is you wake up, you sit down for 30 minutes a morning before you start doing anything, and you read and you pray. But just for me, like that doesn't work for me really. Whether it's for sports or work, or I just can't sit still in the morning to read a Bible. So I mean, whatever that routine looks like for each person might be different. So I mean, I wouldn't say mine is like the stereotypical more routine for faith, but I mean, it's what I have and it works for me. So
Yeah, it keeps you engaged and it keeps you growing in the Lord. And I think one thing you mentioned that was actually very interesting is like you're not also too hard on the flip side where you are only relying on your routine and you have your routine and you use the routine almost as an excuse not to engage in the church, like in a local body of believers. No, you see the value of it. And you even said like, I know that I need to go. It's like, how can I miss that? I know I need that. And I just think that you kind of are an example of a good balanced spot where it's like you see the value of both and they're both intersecting. Um, and yeah, because we don't want to be too far on the other side where it's like, I knew someone who was like, oh, I got Jesus. I don't need anyone else. Like, I don't need to go to a church. I don't need to go to a building. The church is the people, right?
Yeah.
It's like I'm the church, and so I can just be me and Jesus. It's like, yeah, but Jesus works through the other people in your life. So yeah. Anyways,
So one of the things I want to talk football a little bit more. So Mario doesn't know you that well yet. Just met today, but having seen you, I met you when you were in high school, and then now first couple years of college. Like you don't brag about this, but you are a very good athlete. And like through high school, you were a good athlete, and you were recruited to play sports in college. And I mean, you succeeded in more than one sport in high school, and then now like a key contributing member of the football team at MSUM. And I can say that about you. I know you would never say that about yourself.
yeah, never.
But I mean, you play like, you're not just there. You're not just on the team. Like you play, you contribute on the field. I know every person on the team contributes in a way, yes. But like you are on the field on Saturday and you are making plays, So what I'm trying to get to in that is like, how have you maintained keeping your identity out of football or out of success in sports or out of, now looking at jobs and like out of your career and out of your relationship, but how do you maintain that identity in Christ?
Yeah, it's actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's a really tough question. I mean, sports have obviously been a part of my life for quite a while now. I've invested a lot of time into them. But yeah, I mean, if sports left me tomorrow, the world would still turn, and I would still just do my thing, just somewhere else, obviously, not sports wise, but you know what? So I don't know. It'd be this is hard actually. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's okay. We'll cut it so it doesn't look like you're thinking at all.
It doesn't look okay. Thank you.
Hey, nothing wrong with thinking.
No, nothing wrong with thinking.
I don't know. Honestly, one of my pet peeves in life is someone who is really caught up in themselves. So that's, I mean, just realizing that, and okay, I don't want to be my own pet peeve. So that's one thing, but that's pretty insignificant. I think just one, having a faith and knowing that, okay, this is what I have here could be taken at any second. Next play you could injure yourself. It's gone in a second. Or that this is temporary in the way that, okay, this is going to come to an end at some point and I'm going to have to find something else. So I don't know, finding value and investing my time and stuff into something that's going to last outside of football. So like relationships, like this last spring I got engaged. So in investing in that and realizing, okay, that this is going to way outlive football, way outlive school, and then looking towards work, but it's hard not to get overcome with work and become too place that as your idol, your job, your role. But yeah, it definitely is hard with the image, I'd say, especially with social media. Like, oh, the photographer, like they get a picture of you. Oh, how could you not let that become your idol and you post that and okay, this is the post, this is the one. Because that's real, definitely real. Or the stats too of like of being jealous in the team. Like, okay, well, they got this many snaps and I only got this many. Why is that? But just realize that there's more to it than yourself. The team, like obviously we're here to play together. Something our head coach Lockway always talks about is, okay, when you make a play, you could say this is true for life as well. When you make a play or something goes your way and you have the opportunity to shine the spotlight on yourself, shine on the people that got you there. So say wide receiver makes a amazing catch for a touchdown. Instead of like taking the camera himself or whatever, he only pulls in his quarterback or his lineman that blocked for him. So pulling in the people around you in life that helped you get to where you wanted to be or put you in that opportunity. So
For sure. And I feel like if everyone has that mindset on the team, if everyone is doing that, then everyone gets in the limelight.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's like,
then at that point, it's easy to tell your teammate, hey, you go take these reps because, you're more rested than me and you're going to do a better job than I am. Rather than, you know what, I'm going to take these reps because I need it. I want it for myself. So, I suppose that's the big thing is just realizing like kind of the purpose of why you're doing it. I feel like in high school, it was really tough because everyone's kind of competing for the spot or to go to the next level. But now college, it's, the same thing. People are trying to compete to go to the next level. But the coaches do a really good job of, okay, this isn't about us or you. It's about us as a team, as a family. So the bigger picture. You need to open your eyes and just see what's around you, I think. So that's also I'd say for life too. I mean, I haven't really started my career yet. It's around the corner, but it's not all about you. There's more people involved, and you couldn't have got to where you are without the people around you.
It made me think of Philippians 2, verse 3. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or conceit, but in humility consider others as more important than yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone should look not on his own interests, but rather to the interests of others.
Oh yeah.
Something I want to add is that it's kind of, after saying all that, it sounds like, oh well, then you still need to work hard and try hard and strive for the best for yourself, but just you can't let that consume you.
I wanted to ask that question too, because there is something to be said about like pursuing excellence and like doing things to the best of your ability. And that passage is slipping my mind.
Which one was
I
it?
happen to know, but like whatever you do, like
Just what's crazy right now is that as you were talking about Philippians, there was a verse replaying in my mind. I'm like, oh, I know that's in Colossians. Let me go over and see if it's in Colossians. That's the verse you're talking about.
Oh, let's go.
And just I want to say this for anyone listening or watching, that there were no verses going through my head. So that's not an everyone thing. I'm a Christian, but I don't always have the verses playing through my head.
Just so you know, this is
that's that humility shining, baby.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's so funny.
But yeah, Colossians 3. 23, 24, whatever you do, work heartily as for the Lord, not for men, knowing that from the Lord you will receive the inheritance as your reward. You are serving the Lord Christ. Mm-hmm. So it's like whatever you do, it's not just church things, it's not just Christian activities, but anything, football, sports, eating, drinking, whatever it is, if you're doing it for the Lord, that mindset of it, then he'll have favor on you in that. And that keeps you from pulling your identity from the other things that you're doing and keeping it in Christ, because He's the center of why you're doing the thing that you're doing, or why you're doing it well. You know, maybe you have a job because I need money. I'm just like, I need money to survive, but I'm going to do my job well because, like, I love the Lord and He gave me this job. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
it's like,
kind of going off that, I want like even like going into a lift or a practice, not even just games, but games too. Like I'm like, this is such a big thing for me in my life. Not saying like, okay, this is just an event for me. This is like a lot of energy is gonna be invested here. I invest a lot of time into this, and it's like, I kind of want God to be part of this. So before everything, I always prayed, dear Lord, please protect all of us out there as we compete and have fun. Give me and my teammates the ability to do our best, and at the end of the game, know that we did our best and that we worked as hard as we could. So I just like us, like back to routine, another invitation to him to, like, please be part of this time, because we need you, protect us and just bless this time.
sure.
So,
That's awesome.
It's important to, as we talk about the pursuit of excellence and doing things well and doing it for God. Like, there are people in the world that, and I don't know if everyone has ever said this to you, but there are people in the world that like, well, God doesn't care about football, but the reality is, like, one, you love football, and two, you try to honor God through football, and I mean everything else also. But you've already talked about when you talked about the possibility that like the next snap could be the last snap, but then you talk about like rolling your ankle, and that kind of being the start of this like really deep valley that you walk through. If you didn't care for football the way that you do, that wouldn't have been as deep of a valley. And you talked about meeting God in that valley. And so when you care and when you pursue things the way that you are, like, not that like God just wants us to walk through valleys, because that's not the case. But when we are in the valley, like, that pain is also where God can speak to us, where God can meet us there. And so I think it's important that, like, we do care and we do try and we do pursue things, because, like, again, not pulling our identity anywhere else,
For sure.
but those things can, one, honor God, and then two, in the pain or in the success, right? Like, God meets us there. It reminds me of Ecclesiastes.
We just went through it.
Chapter 7, verse 14, that it says in days of plenty, or when things are good, rejoice. But then in days of sorrow, consider. To, like, slow down enough to see, like, what is God doing? Like, there is sorrow around me, there's difficulty around me, but what is God doing? Like, God is still here. But without the joy, we don't feel the sorrow. Without the sorrow, we don't feel the joy. And so, like, we need to experience both of those worlds. And I think that's a really beautiful, like, kind of arc of the story that you're telling us, is like, there's been beauty and there's been pain, but God has been consistent through both sides of it.
something that kind of reminds me of that our coaches preach to us in practice, after practice, because you have ups and downs in practice and stuff. Like, oh, it was a good practice, oh, it was a bad practice. But they always say, it was never as good as you think, or it's never as bad as you think. No matter how good you thought you did, it wasn't as good as you thought. No matter how bad you did, or you thought you did, it wasn't as bad as you thought. So I've been that really helps our practice, because after a bad practice, you're like, man, like, that was bad. But then you're like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I thought. And after a good practice, you're like, you know what? I still have a lot of stuff to learn, and I still need to work on a lot of things.
Man, it sounds like your coaches.
And that was just given for practice, but it carries over into life perfectly. You have a bad day, it's not as bad as you think. Maybe you didn't sleep as much as you needed to, or something.
Yeah. But then even if you have a really good day, like, oh man, I'm the man. It's like, no, it's like, you got a lot of growing to do still. It really keeps you humble.
Yeah.
And it's like, and not overconsumed with shame or guilt, or like if you had like a really bad practice or something, or a really bad game, it's like, oh, my worth as a man and a player and everything else is not falling apart right now. It's not as bad as you think. So that's cool. That's awesome. One of the things you hit on I thought was really interesting was like the kind of like the sentiment of it's like, oh, well, God doesn't care about football. I'm gonna be real honest. I used to think like that. I used to think like that in terms of like football or baseball or just whatever. Not so much that I hated sports, but more like, man, there's just so much obsession about sports. Like, can we just focus on other things that are more important? And I am sad that I have had that mindset before because, I'm from Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns suck, obviously, but we still root for them because it's Cleveland and we're from Cleveland. They're doing a lot better, but there's just been a lot like in the teams of Ohio with college football and the Browns, just a lot of Jesus. Like Jesus is being promoted all the time, like cool. On the screens, people watching, and when I see that, it's like, whoa, no, like God is in that, and He is absolutely showing Himself and glorifying Himself in something that, it's like, how can you say that God is not interested in that? Talking to me. Yeah. it's like, no. He's very interested in it because there's people in it, and He's interested in people, and there are people watching that He's interested in. So, yeah. Anyways, I was like, when you said that, I was like, oh man, that was me.
Little conviction for our Tuesday morning.
That was me. Long time ago.
Well, we've covered so much, but is there anything that you would like to talk about that we haven't talked about?
Not really. Yeah, we have covered a lot. I will say one thing so our Bible study last year, we did a deep dive into Exodus. So, pretty interesting, quite repetitive. I was kind of skeptical at first. I'm like, gosh, these dumb people always messing up. And then after like 5 weeks of like being in Exodus, it's like, wow, it's like that was me like on the way here. Like, so I don't, it's so basic. Some people say it's the goddess of the Old Testament. It's not accurate, but it's still God, So I think it's great. It shows His power. It shows His mercy, His provision. It shows so many things, and then it's in such, I won't say dumbed down, but in a simple way, you're like, oh, this is kind of like my life here, I always kind of go off to my own thing, and then I get pulled back. And then I have these great moments, these high moments, and then I fall off to the side, and I get pulled back. So I don't know. I think it was good. I liked Exodus a lot.
Yeah, you're right. Where it's like, we could feel a pride of like, man, what are you doing? Like, you just got out of Egypt.
Yeah, it's like we parted the river for you. It's like, how do you not believe? It's like, I play sports in college. I go to school for not as much as a normal person pays because scholarships. It sounded really weird, but and then I still mess up. I still go off and do my own thing. I still disobey, and so it's exact same.
Oh yeah. It's the same heart. We have the same heart as the people of Israel. So.
I always laugh in Exodus of like all of the things that you've seen God do, and then now it's like, but we're hungry. Why couldn't you just let us die in Egypt?
It's like, really? Whoa, hey. You were crying out for 400 years. You remember that?
Are we there yet?
Yeah, literally. Right. It's like the 2-year-olds in the car. They're listening. It's like, come on.
They didn't have that.
And then we appreciate all the, it's like, oh yeah, God did provide all that, didn't He? Oh yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things, do we have time?
We got 2 minutes. Can you do it in 2 minutes?
I can do it in 2 minutes. One of the things that we want this podcast to be is like helping people understand how to read Scripture.
Yeah.
And so as you talk about Exodus, like if you go read Exodus is not necessarily a book of like, this is how the Israelites lived, and so this is how we should live.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. Yeah. It's story. Mm-hmm. It's seeing God's faithfulness and seeing God through the ups and downs of trusting and not trusting, and following and not following, and
Mhm.
like, so it's valuable, and it is such a good book to read, as you said.
Yeah.
But someone new to their faith or new to the Bible, don't.
Maybe don't take it all literal.
Yeah, it's not a playbook.
Yeah.
It's reading the, understanding God. It
Yeah.
shows God's character, God's nature.
And that's where I think that podcasts or sermons online can be great, because they help you break it down. Because I mean, it can be pretty intimidating reading a passage on yourself. Even for me, like, read a passage, I'm like, he drove a tent stake through his head. Like, am I supposed to do, like, I don't really see that often nowadays, but like, I'm not that bad of a person.
I don't think the Lord wants me to do that, but
No.
it's in the Bible. So
Yeah.
what do I?
No, so context is important, and
Yeah,
just slowing it down. So that's what helped me.
Yeah.
Well, Will, thank you so much, man. We loved this conversation, and I mean, people are going to be blessed by this conversation for sure. So thank you for taking time. And,
Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
It was great meeting you and having you on, and yeah, man, I just enjoyed the conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, until next time, we may or may not have another guest, but
Who
we'll have
knows?
something good for you.
Yeah, surprise. And as always, let us know what you want to hear.
Yeah.
Books of the Bible you want to talk about, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Hit us up. We're happy to make it happen.
I might get cut off there. We'll see.
No,
The camera's still going.
it's still going.